everyone, Emily here from Emily's Visions. Welcome to another one of my videos, just to kind of express how I'm feeling as I progress along my journey of life as a somebody with uncontrolled epilepsy. I'm feeling a bit sad today because I've been having to face some things from my past. Don't think that's ever easy for anyone, but it's been my experience that through facing things, being honest about how I feel about them, it kind of releases quite a bit of energy. So I end up sort of being able to do more in my life. Feel like less like those things are sort of hidden in the background and sort of kind of weighing down on me in a way that, you know, I could never really understand, you know. So today I wanted to talk about the mind of emergency, which is something I've noticed in myself. And I've seen it in some other people as well, actually. I think it's quite a modern thing because we live very fast-paced lives. We have lots of information coming at us. We don't tend to, like when I'm teaching online, very often we start with a breathing meditation because just taking time to breathe is really important. And also it's always there, we're always breathing. We're a living, breathing organism until we pop our clogs. So, you know, to be aware of that rhythm of our breath is good. And actually sometimes it indicates when we're stressed, because it might be sort of, the breath might be tight, or it might be heavy, or it might be fast. So just sort of checking in on ourselves, even before we've done any kind of, you know, psychological work on ourselves, like just to check in on how, you know, our breath is feeling in our body can be a really good thing. So yeah, the mind of emergency, I have this a fair amount. I mean, I also have it connected to my seizures as well. So that's helped me to see it more often, I think. Because the phones, they always make lots of little noises, don't they, all the time. Yeah, we have. So I think having it often with my seizures helps me to recognise it, because I definitely have to revisit it over and over again with my uncontrolled seizures. So unlike people who don't have uncontrolled epilepsy, I think you know, you can carry on living your life and it's sort of unchallenged. I mean, obviously we have challenges, but it's not, you don't have the sort of deep challenge, the interruption to your life and the way you want to live it so often. So, you know, you can kind of carry on sort of as normal, you know, if you know, more often. Whereas when I get interrupted, it really makes me think, you know. The mind of emergency is an important one to identify in ourselves, because it's not always at a time when there is an emergency, but it makes us feel like we haven't really got the time to stop and think. We have to react now because it's an emergency. We can't think about, I can't like think about, you know, how I would like to approach the situation, go away, calm down, think about it, and actually do the sort of things that I would like to do. I have to, you know, react quickly, and I'm fairly measured. I don't, you know, that hasn't kind of caused much of a problem for other people, but for me it makes me very stressed. And I think it's a shame when we think that we have to react quickly, because we could be indisposed for all sorts of different reasons. When somebody says, now is an emergency, now you must think, you must act quickly, you know, we could well be indisposed at that time. And if we were indisposed at that time, if we were busy with something else, that person would just have to wait, and they would have to adapt to us. So, you know, that's worth remembering if we feel pressure, because I think one thing that can happen is the mind of emergency can sort of lead to an abuse of ourselves, but also we could be abused by others because they tell us that it's an emergency and they can basically take over. If someone says to us, oh, it's an emergency, or there's a very special reason why you shouldn't think deeply about solving a problem, or why you shouldn't take out any time to relax right now, you know, they've kind of got you where they want you, really. and so then you're trapped. And really, if we stop to think about it, especially if we're, an adult and we actually have autonomy, so we're living our own lives and we can decide how we live our own lives, we might be able to look around and go, well, actually, there isn't really an emergency going on. That person thinks that this is an important moment and therefore we should all do whatever it is they think would be a solution. But actually, there isn't really an emergency going on. There isn't really something to worry about. So, and because that's the case, I don't have to take on their mind of emergency. I don't have to, be a slave to their mind of emergency. So I'm trying to kind of become more aware of that mind, because I'd like to have more control over my life, and I'd like to have more autonomy. And so I'd like to be able to identify when things are an emergency and when they're not. Because I would like to know when it's okay just to kind of relax. Just to put the kettle on, have another cup of tea, or just go for a little walk around the block, or just sort of take yourself away to a space where there's nobody else, just for, a few moments, just to kind of be with my breath and calm down. And understand and clear my mind so that I can identify whether there's an emergency going on or not. Whether it's just a habit of emergency that is like when people talk about tinted spectacles, emergency tinted spectacles, so we see, emergencies everywhere, and that this moment is one that could possibly spell disaster. Maybe we're not aware of it, the disaster. Maybe we should be more on our points. But actually, I think we can trust our instincts. I think if I look at times when there has actually been an emergency in my life that I've cared about, I have actually been able to, deal with them quite well. You get sort of a special kind of adrenaline that comes up, that you can apply to that situation, and then after that fact you can just step out of the adrenaline again, because it was only there for that specific moment. It's obvious why it was there, because there was that specific thing happening, and as a result it's okay, it's obvious that it's then now time to not have that adrenaline. So I just wanted to kind of talk about the mind of emergency and being aware that we don't need to stress as much as we probably do, and that just to be able to kind of calm down and step down from it is an important thing to be able to do in order to become yourself. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Much love to you all. Subscribe, and I've got a couple of other projects in the pipeline coming along, so I'm quite excited about those. So stay tuned. Thanks. Take care. Bye.